Welcome in Line by Line. Today with Shane, we are analyzing Billy Ray Cyrus, Achy Breaky Heart. Shane, why did you pick that song?
Intuition. I don't know, I think his it's just expression. I think it's expression in the highest form. This one.
I mean, I think he's the father of Miley Cyrus. It probably
Yes.
was interesting to dive into that.
That is Miley Cyrus's father.
Oh, okay.
He played a co-starring role in the show Hannah Montana with his daughter. And their brother in the show wasn't actually their brother, so he was pretending someone was pretending to be Billy Ray Cyrus's brother. But that's besides Billy Ray Cyrus's son. But
that's interesting. I did not know that. Shout out to Cyrus family.
Yeah. Billy Ray Cyrus, Achy Breaky Heart. You can tell the world you never was my girl. You can roll me close up when I'm gone. Or you can tell your friends just what a fool I've been and laugh a joke about me on the phone.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you. It's an excellent, very cheerful song. But is it actually? I think the subject that he's touching here is pretty serious. It's yeah.
Okay. So I thought about like how deep like his heartbreak was, and I was like, huh, like this. Okay. So I was like, this, when I was listening to this, it got me like really happy. And I was like, oh, I don't know if this song is, it seems like a surface level thing. It seems like effort was put into it. And that's like, I think that's really good. I think like Billy Ray Cyrus should have been proud of this song when he wrote it, because it's very good. I think they're like this, the amount of work it took to have this kind of spirit in the midst of having an achy breaky heart as well is a valiant accomplishment. So I think it is a serious subject, but I think that he shows faithfulness to the spirit at large in all of us.
Yeah. So what he did here, he man up and like just took the leading thing in here. Did not let himself be broken by whatever she did, and then he tells her kind of what to do, in a sense, like you can do that, like as if he allows her to do it. It's like also gives her some ideas, like let me come up with more ideas for you.
Right. You can tell you know. Yeah.
He's like calling her out in a sense. So she was not planning on doing any of those. And he's like provoking her. Hey, you can tell the world you never was my girl. You can burn my clothes when I'm gone. So he's deciding to be gone and leaving his clothes in there. Kind of, or unless she catches him, like takes clothes and burns them to watch him walk away.
I think that speaks to like the male virtue of being able to produce. It's like, okay, you can throw. He was just like, there's when you can produce, when you're the source of.
Yeah, he can make himself more clothes.
Yeah, when clothes, you know, Just wouldn't make a dent if you burn my clothes up when I'm gone. That's, I think, the mark of, I think that at the end of the day, that's like the it might be the sum of virtues, like the sum, that feeling is the product of, like, oh gosh, I don't even know, being a moderately good person, like you feel like you can produce value, like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I did not think about that. So material possessions aren't as valuable for him because he can get it back anyway. Nice. I did not catch that.
Yeah, or he could produce it. He could make it if he wanted. He could remake the clothes. I don't know.
Man up, right? Also, he continues giving her interesting ideas. It's just like, how can you hurt me? You can tell your friends just what a fool I've been, like complaining about him, and laugh and joke about me on the phone. Okay, so those are some of the ideas he suggests the girl can do to him in a very cheerful music. But it is good, like that he is talking about, unless, hold on, maybe he actually names the things she already done, like, because I might not catch the linguistical difference correctly.
Well, it's you can tell the world. So when I listened to it, it sounded, I took it as, oh yeah, you can do all these things, as in, that's what had happened, or that's what's like inevitable to happen. Like I'm like sort of, yeah, like it's already happened, but when you just read it, it doesn't really, it sounds like a list of
ideas.
Yeah.
Unless she threatened him, like with those things. And so he spits it out to her.
Right. No, I'm sure that for sure happened.
Oh, interesting. It might. Let's see further.
You can tell my arms to go back into the farm. You can tell my feet to hit the floor. Or you can tell my lips to tell my fingertips. They won't be reaching out for you no more.
You can tell my arms to go back to the farm.
Okay, you tell me what that means. Because I only have, okay, you can.
I mean, she probably called him a redneck in that sentence.
So he's owning it. He's saying,
yeah,
he's owning it. Yeah, he's owning it.
No, she must have done it to him, like, or she have told those things to him. You can tell my feet to hit the floor. I mean, I think it's an expression of dancing or going away, or like moonwalking backwards. Or you can tell my lips to tell my fingertips they won't be reaching out for you no more. It sounds like what woman would say, actually. Like, I think he repeats what she told him. Like, those are pretty female insults.
Yeah. Hit the floor. I'm like trying to imagine.
There is a song, Hit the Road Jack, that hit the road Jack, don't you come back no more. And this one was Hit the Floor. That's how I thought. In a meaning, like, hit the road.
Okay. So he's differentiating between the body and like the soul or the heart here. He's saying you can tell every single part of me, such and such and such, but don't tell my heart, which comes about. But that's crazy.
Oh, but that's nice. That's true. He names, he starts describing the argument and the things she did, but then he gets personal. He moves his focus onto his actual body until his heart. And he said, like, you can do all of this, but do not touch my heart. That's the boundary. Like, I would draw boundary like way earlier, but here is like, do not touch my heart. It's interesting. So basically, he shows that he has a lot of patience for her.
It's
like he only draws boundary at the body, at the heart.
That's really nice. That's a really, it's a really great quality.
What was that? I was talking to another podcaster for his podcast, and he was asking me about relationships and how women choose men. And also the question of testing limits appeared, where people would test each other boundaries and why and how. And so those very passionate, strong fights, my theory is it's because women testing how well the guy is adapted to start a family, and if he's capable handling her, let's say, emotional state, he is capable to handle children, let's say. Like, it's like father material.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about okay, so did he talk about like men testing women? Because you said the boundaries, like,
I mean, we did not go there. Like, he was like, I don't have many women who come in and talk, so he would like to know my opinion or explanation of why would a woman actually go and test the boundaries so much, like really push the limits. Because all those things we read, like, first of all, she denounces him. She tells the world she never was his girl. Burning clothes is actually like, it's tribal thing, kind of, burning somebody's clothes, which is, I don't know, goes to ancients. Maybe that's how ancient women were divorcing a guy, burning his skin, lion leopard skin or something.
well,
like
yeah,
coded
and
somewhere.
Yeah, it sounds primal, definitely. Because I mean, clothes, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I can tell you a primal thing I once did. I was like, when I first moved in with my boyfriend, like back in the day, like my first relationship, and I found, like, I looked through his cupboard and I found photographs of his previous girlfriend. And so
you burned them.
yes,
Or you ate them.
No, I did not eat them. I burned them.
You chewed them up and spit them out or something.
No, I actually started a fire on a balcony.
That's
like, the length of the tribal hysteria would go to. Jesus, the stories.
holy sh.
I'm better now.
No, I think okay. I think that also is what a guy like wants in a woman, just because because you don't want a woman who's like, because when things happen like in the world or with you, they come from like a spring or a source. And I think if a woman's not like in touch with reality or her mind or her like desire, like, you have a hard time trusting that she'll be able to pick up on the things that like that would maybe like create harm, I guess. Like you, or like I came up with the rule for myself. I don't know where I heard it, but the rule is if a woman tells me to get out of a place, I listen to them because it's something's weird. Something's off. I think that's that's a good rule.
I don't know. I think like just at the beginning, it is my theory. Like maybe it's my theory because it's projections. I was totally testing if the guy, how can he react to my very emotional stance? It's like me claiming him for myself. Like your past doesn't exist. It's only me. Only my photographs should be in there. It's like that thing where on one side, I did this dramatic artistic gesture of claiming a guy for myself. I mean, fun stories from the past. I mean, it gets better with time. Like I cool down. Like I don't need to do it every weekend. To look for photographs. Like it was done once and never needed to repeat myself again.
Okay. But don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart. I just don't think you'd understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this man. So that one.
That went dark super quickly.
Oh like, man. Okay.
Jesus.
So she, what he doesn't say is what she would say to his heart. But he wouldn't understand. But if you talk to his heart, blow up and kill this man. So maybe he has a heart. He has a heart condition. You know, a condition that has to do with his central like being that like makes him prone to dying if it's reached out to. I don't know, and maybe that's why he can create such a strong like fucking, maybe that's why he can lift weights, is because he like no communication with his heart. He's all body. And Billy Ray Cyrus is, but I don't know. So I think he's, yeah, that's where I have, that makes sense for me with what the lyrics say.
I'm curious, why heart is he? It's the first time I hear it linguistically that the heart is referred to in gender.
I think it's because it's strong. Like it's a strong thing.
Oh, so he actually, yeah, he does show his strength here. Like, here is my boundary, and I am ready to stand up for my boundary.
Yeah. But it's like, but don't tell my heart. Well, he's not standing up for the boundary. He's saying, if you tell my heart, he's saying, don't do it. But if you do, there's going to be like, fucking death. Oh. He might go up and kill this man. He says, so don't break my heart. Don't break my achy breaky heart. So he's saying basically like, but if you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, he might, blow up and kill this man.
I think he's disassociating himself with his heart here. Like it's two separate entities somehow.
It's some would say that's just like a I don't know. Yeah, differentiated or
Yeah.
and maybe yeah. It's either so yeah, he's either so you can tell my heart, my achy breaky heart. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go yes with the dissociation thing, and we'll say that might be also why he's so buff is because he's dissociated from. But I think it takes at least differentiation, and some people. I think there's a way you have to be in order to get as large a muscles as Billy Ray Cyrus has. There's like a way you have to be that people don't like when hard work like working out is easy for somebody and then they call it, toxic or whatever. That makes me that gives me uh reason to go away from people a lot of the time.
Oh, is there a
But
specific story behind that, Shane? Like, did somebody tell that when you are working out and giving people example of healthy life, it's toxic? It's not.
I know. Okay. Oh, you can tell your ma I'll move to Arkansas, or you can tell your dog to bite my leg. I thought that was the funniest part. You can tell your dog to bite my, or you can tell your brother Cliff, whose fist can tell my lips. He never really liked me anyway. Uh,
Okay. Let's finish. So now from the body and the heart, it moved personal, like really specific with naming her relatives, her mother, her brother,
yes.
and also physical assault.
Yes. Which is
Which is now actually should not happen, right? Like, is it outdated in a sense?
physical.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, this song was written when?
I know.
I feel like in the 80s it was like, oh, like I was around since 95, but I've seen Chuck Norris.
You can tell your brother Cliff, whose fist can tell my lips. Like she's like is so that's physical assault, right? Right now,
Yeah.
those things
Ooh.
are not possible. Yeah.
So she's before he says you can tell my lips to tell my fingertips they won't be reaching out for you no more, but now he's saying you can even use your brother Cliff as the mediator between you telling like my lips something. You can use your brother Cliff's fists to tell my lips even.
Imagine that weird scenario where she's like kissing her brother's hand before her brother punches him in the leaves. It's like that's
that's the weirdest way to send somebody a kiss.
It's a it's a punch a kiss. Have you ever heard of punch kiss?
I don't know.
So he's manning up here. Is that the thing?
Yes. Okay. So he's saying like he's saying hypothetically your brother could punch me and it would be appropriate and you are lesser than because he never really liked me anyway, even though he was acting as such. So like I am, I'm following the way of, truth.
I like how he thought about it though. Like he all those details, right? Like he remembers her brother's name. It's like, see, I paid attention to details. And I remember all the ways you insulted me. I kind of I find it endearing for some reason. Like he paid attention.
He obviously went around her dog a lot. and I don't know like if he felt like the dog was always gonna bite his leg, and he was finally just like, you can tell your dog to bite my leg. She was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Because you always wanted to bite me, I swear to God. All right. Or tell your Aunt Louise, tell anything you please. Myself already knows I'm not okay. Or you can tell my eyes to watch out for my mind. It might be walking out on me one day. That great.
So his mind, and he's not okay. Like, isn't it feels like he's asking her to reconsider her actions in a sense, like girl, I'm not okay. Like, among all those words, the moment I heard I'm not okay, I'm losing my mind, I was like, yeah, that's the moment where you have to actually stop the fight and talk to a person for real.
Or talk to, it seems, it seems like he's in a creative artist domain here, because he's saying things that like they are actually like reminiscent of like like spiritual knowledge, because he's trying to get something across here that's like obviously really lofty. I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. Myself already knows I'm not okay, or you can tell my eyes to watch out for my mind. It might be walking out on me one day. So there's all this like all this confidence that surrounds like, can you tell my eyes to watch out for my mind? So yeah, it might be walking out on me one day. So he's okay. Wow, there's
nihilistic part, like, or also he doesn't care about himself in a sense.
Well, I think I think he does more than it seems. Okay. I always get the feeling with certain like artists know that they're gonna be okay. As a general, I think artists, people who at least identify with artists or like are artists, or people who have a strong like, I think they know they're gonna be okay, but there's like so there's a silliness associated with like any like, or not a silliness, but there's a confidence that can look like nihilism, because if you go like, an artist knows they're gonna be okay, so anything goes for any outside force can do whatever the fuck they want. They know they're gonna be okay. Yeah. And so it sort of might look like a nihilism, but does that do you understand, like, sort of?
Yeah. It's artistic nihilism.
Yeah, it's sort of like the one that people, I think, like when people, I don't know why what the source was, when like, so there was people who actually, I don't know how many people actually understood Nietzsche before like Peterson, and then there was an aspect of Nietzsche that I saw a lot of people getting into, like, oh, nothing you do matters, and that was like maddening. Like, it was like, oh man, I feel like everyone, like, it gave everyone like a slip, like, to be like is wild. And I think that's sort of maybe like the idea here is like, he's like, embracing like out of mindness as somebody like, do you know what I mean? Or embracing like
I understand. So
okay.
he is
But I don't necessarily think that's a good thing.
I mean, so he disregards everything that might happen to him. He doesn't care, basically.
Yeah. Or well, I mean,
it's like
I think he does, but he's basically but he's giving
all of those
himself
things will not break him.
he's opening maybe he's opening the door to still being, even though he said all these you can do and I'm super cool, but he's also saying please still like I'm still not like perfect, like I'm still, you know, gonna yeah, I don't know. What do you think? You're
Yeah, I just you reminded me how he was dancing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like like he's ungroundable. Like nothing can punish him.
Okay. Now, if you're ungroundable, kids, stay ungroundable. Don't try and seriously, because then nobody can touch your heart and you'll be fine. I'm telling you.
So he's
No.
like, there is nothing you can do to me. You can do all of it. It might kill my heart. And then it's like, oh,
right.
It's like, I don't know, like the way he tells and dances, and then it's nihilism, I think. But he also wants her to take a responsibility for it.
Okay, so I think there's a pinnacle here. It's like the Apollonian, which is like the stable, and then there's the Dionysian. I think he's I don't know, it's hard to say which one. It's a balance of both, but I think he's definitely I think he's trying to shine brightly, like he's expressing the great, like the perseverer, but just because someone's a perseverer doesn't mean they don't have a heart. Like,
oh, I get it. So he's ungroundable, but she should remember that he does have a heart, though.
Yes. Oh, and okay, that is, if there is a single thing that I would want, like, a young woman to know, it's that. It's that, like, they're like, as much as it seems like someone is like freaking on top of the world, there's a like, even if they don't know it, there is a heart with the softness of the plumpness and softness of like especially if you like the guy, is probably like mushy like an apricot, like an old, and it's like, remember, and that is the source of their buoyancy, like in some sense. And if you hurt that, it really hurts their buoyancy. It's blowing. It's like, I don't know. Okay.
It's excellent, Shane. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Message for young girls: you have another person in front of you. Just treat another person as a person.
Yes. And yeah. Treat people as a balance between, like, strength and having strengths and weaknesses, I guess, or like being vulnerable. What is, like, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's like he already said, myself already knows I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I already know it. So
right.
So whatever she tells him, he already knows it. And she can tell him everything. She just should not tell his heart.
Right. Myself already knows I'm not okay. Was there a repeat of "So don't tell my heart, my achy
Yes,
breaky"?
yeah, actually it was "Don't Tell My Heart." It went on and repeated 3 times after that.
I think that
was the end of it. So he kept 3 times over and over repeating that "Don't Tell My Heart." And that's the end of the song. He might blow up and kill this man. That's how the song ends. If she keeps doing it, basically, if she yeah, it's tough.
And the way he says it in the song is very stark. He's like, and you can tell my eyes to watch it from my mind, and my may walking out on me one day, and then he does like this very cool thing in the middle of it. You have to watch the video.
Yes, it's very cool. It's absolutely very cool. Yeah, I love that video. I kind of it's not funny anymore. Like, for me, somehow, like all these videos from the past, they seem kind of funny. Like, you know, like this Rick and Roll video. I'm never gonna give you up.
Yes.
But when I analyze this lyric, he raises a lot of issues here. Like, obviously, assault, a girl pushing for his limits. He's not okay and he knows it. He's trying to remind her about it.
Okay, I think that has to be okay. So you listen to it once, I think, and then also there is positivity there. Like I think that's the deepest thing. It's like a deeply positive song, but I think there are some like the way maybe that the lyrics might I don't know, it's hard to understand like if the lyrics come off a certain way, how much of that is like raises real issues. Like that's certainly like, and how much of it is like how much of it is true to how you originally experience it, because you might originally experience a song a certain way, and is that more true than like, I think there's truth to both, like the original interpretation, how you like feel when you listen to it, or if it's funny or whatever, but I think there's like, you might say like there's also truth to like when you take something apart and look at its composite parts, and maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's I get it, man. I think Shane, I actually think it's all of this what he names here is unacceptable doing to another person, and he's allowing some of it. Just accept the heart, like he's like, that's my limit, basically. It should not be done in between people, and I feel sorry when it happens. It does happen a lot based on emotion and based on the misunderstanding. Imagine if he's like chill and she feels like he doesn't pay attention to her or something, so she tries to get his attention the wrong way, like with negative thing, and then it drives the wedge between them even more and more, and it's horrible.
Yeah,
somehow I think like at some point it's better to communicate straight as well, like without like that bravura of being a man and like, yes, it's like, no, actually here it really hits me too deep. I would like you to stop. And like that way, I think. Like as if she's a normal person, because he also talks to her as if she's a psychopath. So that's why I was like, okay, did she actually do it? I was surprised at the beginning because all of those things sound horrible to me.
So, I mean, you can tell the world you never was my girl, but don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart. Like, it's just honestly, it's just a kid up here singing his heart out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shane, thank you for bringing it in.
Yes.
People, check out Shane's YouTube channels. There are 2 of them, as far as I know, and all the other media. It's a list out there. And definitely check out his Instagram and push-ups. Just and watch after credits. We are talking about it. Okay, and thank you for Free Time, who is the sponsor of our today's podcast. And bye.
The music itself, or Billy Ray Cyrus in the video dancing?
No, the music is fine, but like when I think he is like my dad, but then I was like, I'm looking at him, he's like age of my dad, and I'm looking at him and his eyes, like he looks so pretty, but then he's like, my heart will explode. I was like, oh my God, you're already old. Why do you look so good? And then seeing him wear those shoulder pads and like dancing, and that kind of like, it's not fashionable anymore to dry hump your guitar on stage while wearing a mullet and shoulder pads. I'm sorry, the times have changed. Like I've seen pictures of him right now. He's like way cooler at the moment. But like it is kind of cringe to watch that video for me, precisely because he looks so pretty in there.
Yeah, he is pretty.
Yeah,
he is pretty.
People check out Shane's Instagram. He does push-ups in there. So I don't follow many people, but sometimes like they're like it jumps on my feed, and I was like, Jesus, what's going on? I don't. It's like people running. I ran in a marathon for cancer. Shane does push-up for Kenny or something like.
No, I'm doing push-ups for Jewish people.
Okay. Did you do push-ups for women of Iran?
Yes. What was the old one? It was Save, or it was not Kanye. It was the guy they were trying to catch years ago.
Julian Assange?
Sure. Sure. I'm doing push-ups to catch Julian Assange.
Are you talking about Osama bin Laden?
Yes.
It's so funny. I'm doing push-ups for Osama bin Laden. Yes. Okay, people, check out. Like, I do believe you did push-ups for Iron Root and Kara Nodrik back in the day. It was like, check out my push-ups for Iron Root and Kara Nodrik. I was like, you don't want to waste push-ups? You want to do them for a cause?
Yeah.